Welcome to Think Like an Ant. This is the third video in our series about how to start a business. And this time we are talking about side gigs versus full-time jobs. Stay tuned. Do you know anyone who excels at their job and is paid a good salary? Or are you probably one of them? What makes people earn so much in a salary at a given job? Do you know anybody who is running a business that is running it well and earning good money running their own business? Again, what are the things they are doing that make them stand out? I'll tell you the truth. For both scenarios, the common features are actually many. What are they? It's time and commitment to the business and to the job. It's constant training to learn and improve. It's experience that is built by constantly doing the job. It's attention to detail on the job and giving their all to it. And it's constant self-development so they can be better, among other things. The traits for doing well as a salaried worker have a lot in common with the traits for doing well running a business, although they are different, because excellence is a state of doing things and it yields results whichever way. Now, why are we talking about this? The reason is that for most people who have a job and want to run a side gig, they cannibalize one over the other and forget the big English. Let's speak in simpler terms. You run a side gig where you supply wigs or wig caps to ladies and you work in a company. So during the day, you are getting orders on Instagram and on WhatsApp, and you are responding to them while also responding to work emails and dealing with customers. You have to make sure that you got the right size, you call the rider, the item is delivered or is picked up at the right time, it's paid, you've confirmed the payment in your Momo. These steps take a lot of brain power. Now, at the same time, your boss is waiting for an email to go out that is supposed to solve one or two different problems. I'm sure you see where I'm going. Your boss is quickly going to realize, and your co-workers are quickly going to realize that you are not the sharpest person at your job. And it's not because you are not smart. It's because your attention is divided. You are thinking about the 500 cedis you make when you sell it, and at the same time, you want to get your salary. If you do this for a year, your side gig will still run. It's not an issue, and you still have your job. You probably won't be fired. But when promotion is coming, there's another person sitting by you doing the same job who has no side gig, who is sending all their emails on time, who is focused on making sure that they give responses where is required, who is going to get the appraisal and who is going to get the promotion. Now stretch this over a 7-year period. Those people are going to now get into upper management, upper middle management, and the people running their side gigs will not be able to because they cannot commit the same amount of resource. Another example is where you have a side gig that requires you to meet people and you have a full-time job. So you are moving from location to location to meet people and you have a full-time job. The truth is, 30 minutes in Accra traffic is enough to drain half of your battery power for the day. Ask those who sit in it. We all do. And so what happens is that as you are moving around trying to meet people and get your side gig work done, your physical strength and your mental presence available to prepare your next presentation or to call your next client at your main job is depleted. So ultimately, the 100% you have in a day, you've given 50 to your side gig and you've given 50 to your main job. None of the two of them are gaining, and it will come at a cost to you. Why are we saying this? We are saying this because side gigs are not problems, and having a full-time job is not a problem either. But for most people, they don't expect that their side gig will now stop them from earning a bigger salary. Most people will want to be able to get a salary increase every week or every month or every year. But then the one who is responsible for giving you that increase is looking at what you are doing in a day and will notice that you are distracted. The second thing is training and development. Training and development is what many people do at their jobs who are successful at it after work and during work, during their lunch breaks, etc. They are reading courses, they are studying, they are going to people who are interested. They are using the spare time they have in their mind to get better at their job. That's why people go and do master's degrees. That's why people go for short courses. Now imagine that the whole time people were doing their masters and going for short courses and going for training programs, you were trying to steal every moment to make sure you can sell another mobile phone. Yes, you've made money from selling the mobile phone, but definitely your employer is going to wake up one day and stop you from growing as quickly because you just don't have the skill because you've not been committing yourself to it. In a nutshell, what we are trying to say is that it's good to consider a side gig, but you really need to ask yourself at what cost this side gig is coming to you. Because it is also very good to have a job and do well. For those who are in upper middle management in many companies that are doing well, they get perks, their rent is paid, their fuel is covered. A lot of perks come along with it. And many of us would like to be that person who got a new job that gave us a new car. But the path to get there requires sacrifice, it requires focus, it requires giving your attention to your job. But that also means that then you may not be able to have that side gig to add some more money. It's an opportunity cost, and that is the case of life. For everything that you don't do, there's something else you have to do. But take your time and ask yourself these questions so that you don't become that person who sits back and says 5 years afterwards that I wish I had stayed in my job because 2 of the other people I started with are now in top management and are earning 6 times more than what I'm doing, but I'm not earning as much, but I have a business on the side that's doing well. So on the opposite side of this is the point where you need to consider whether or not to leave your main job for your side gig. Because you may have had a side gig for a while, it's doing well and it's stable, and you can see that your side gig is willing to take off. Of course, your salary gives you a constant 30-day cycle of money, but your side gig has to grow and also requires the same attention your job is asking for. It wants your time. It wants you to train. It wants you to engage clients. Your clients need to know that you are available, that they can get access to you when they need you, that their orders will be delivered on time, that they have all your attention, that when you ask to do something, you don't say, I need 1 week to do something you can do in a day. All those things allow your side gig to grow. So it's important to consider also at some point that it may be the time to quit your job. There's always the question around stability, and it's true. But if you were interested enough to take the risk of a side gig while you had your main job, then you've gone past the point of not being courageous enough. So it's important to consider it. And the reason is because if you grow that side gig also with all that attention, the upside is that the side gig will definitely make you more money than your salary job. That's how the world works. You take bigger risk, you get a higher reward. So it may be a time to consider quitting your job peacefully and amiably with everybody you work with, no hard feelings, and focusing on that side gig to give it an opportunity to become your core business. These are things that we want to encourage you to think about as you consider your side gig and your main job, so that ultimately you can be successful at either one or the other, or in some cases, both. Thanks for tuning in. This is Think Like an Ant, where we talk about money, how to grow it, and how to make it work for you. Have a good one.